All the portion didn't know where to go. Cross the street with my dog, yeah, the woe. Being me made it harder to grow. Still went up, got my feet off the floor. Gun no wanna been wavy, but I always been playing it low. Getting that work on the daily. Got that Emma went crazy. Been out with my mama, my this shady. When I bought a Mercedes. Take a L, niggas thinking it's gravy. Niggas gotta be crazy. Poppin' out, they gon' see me in HD. Give a reason to hate me. When your bitch and her friend, that's a cool 3. I can give them 3 reasons to hate me. I care less that they talking for less. I pull off and then y'all like it, don't even faze me. I been telling my counting a lot, trying to make what I got stacked tall like Katie. Niggas talking about who calling the shot, bitch calling my phone, talking they want a baby. She get church, we still make it happen. It's deeper than rapping, this life will get crazy. For this money, I'm going crazy. These bitches, I'm going crazy. Missing millions, I'm going crazy. All these killers, I'm going crazy. It's deeper than rapping, this life will get crazy. It's deeper than rapping, this life will get crazy. Spinning on racks, go crazy. Make it right back, that's crazy. All these Benjamins, I'ma go crazy. And the damn my numbers look crazy. It's deeper than rapping, this life will get crazy. It's deeper than rapping, this life will get crazy. Is it true, boy, you reap what you sow? If you fast, if you know, then you know. When I pray, got my knees on the floor. To the high, even when I feel low. By to die forever, I hope. Even when shit get crazy. Geeking up by to start being sober. Living every day faded. Think I got me a dime, I don't bitch do whatever I tell her whenever I say it. Come to find out her piece never pussy and she giving to any player that's paying. I can dig it but not for no main man. That's too slow, that little money won't faze me. Like you keep pulling folks out the ditch, they won't give you back shit and you know that it's crazy. My brother help me get that chip on my shoulder, he told me can't nobody save me. We done tried but we couldn't save the world, looking out for the girls and care of the babies. I done took some real losses and losses, I'm still getting it back, it ain't nothing you can say to me. You don't wanna just say what it was and you still tryna make this shit up and it's crazy. For this money, I'm going crazy. These bitches, I'm going crazy. Missing millions, I'm going crazy. All these killers, I'm going crazy. It's deeper than rapping, this life will get crazy. It's deeper than rapping, this life will get crazy. Spinning on racks, go crazy. Make it right back, that's crazy. All these Benjamins, I'ma go crazy. And the damn my numbers look crazy. It's deeper than rapping, this life will get crazy. It's deeper than rapping, this life will get crazy. Young gun don't want that back calling me splurge. Ride me jump right off the curb. Bentley sprint fly like a bird. Spin on the first and the third. Solid, I'm keeping my word. Can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. Crank up the foreign, I swear. Keep me a stick if they purge. Young gun don't want that, they working my nerves. I'm about to pour some serve. Fucking this bitch like a perm. Smack from the back of a perm. Ice, the bird, shitting on all you little turds. Can't take that dick, wait your turn. In my own lane, we can't merge. So with no heads, you can learn. Let's see how much you can earn. Why me go big like the worm? And I ain't smoking no Sherm. I'm in the beat with P. Liddy. QP ski. I love my bitches, it's pretty, they showing their titties, it's up to the ceiling. I let her run through a million, I rock with her really, let's fuck on a billion. I'ma get down to the gritty, then fuck up the city, the home of the villains. Ecstasy, wonderful feeling. Smoke out the pound when I'm chillin'. Trappin', I made me a killer. Look, I got everybody wishing. I hope you play your position. I don't want nobody listening. I see them hoe with precision. Givers my only decision. Young gun don't want that back calling me splurge. Ride me jump right off the curb. Bentley sprint fly like a bird. Spin on the first and the third. Solid, I'm keeping my word. Can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. Crank up the foreign, I swear. Keep me a stick if they purge. Yeah.
Hey, yo, Wani, this some swaggy shit.
That's his thing, man.
Yeah. It is what it is, man.
Nah, shots,
I'm the one setting the standard. I get money, baby, I'm the answer. Put them dirty niggas in a hamper. He a scumbag, not a scammer. I be getting drops in Atlanta.
Me no want be no bitch up on a button. Me a the goat, me no want on a mutton. Yeah, my brother in a Tariq, I'm a lawyer. Yeah, my brother in a Tariq, I'm a lawyer. If you no stand up for something, you go fall for nothing. Me did feel sad yesterday. Russian call and tell me say,
you my blood, so I'm lying like a dog. Me, I go pick up for you every time you call. Some of them just change like the season. Most of them just want me for fall. Some stay with a rifle at all. Me no want on that picture up on the wall. You know the black them hotter than a sauna. And we lock chopsticks more than Benny Hanna. 8 times rise, 8 times fall. Carry 16 shots for my dog.
any boy violate you a war. Any boy violate you a war.
8 times rise, 8 times fall. Carry 16 shots for my dog.
Me and you are forward from far. Me and you turn in a big superstar. Come from Jamaica, the street grimy. Now for them boy, you're so bad-minded. Them will kill you for nothing at all. Chew you by the youth, them a football. What's the use? You woulda give them your heart. Them woulda cut it out of your chest, put it on the wall. Laugh when your poor mother ball.
8 times rise, 8 times fall. Carry 16 shots for my dog.
Any boy violate you a war. Any boy violate you a war.
8 times rise, 8 times fall. Carry 16 shots for my dog.
Me and you are forward from far. Me and you turn in a big superstar.
I'm sending shots out the car. Rude boy, keep it AR. Can't believe that we made it this far. I'll let it all go, I'm loyal to the core. I'll be running this shit until my feet sore. Lifestyle of a savage until I go.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, gang. Drop a one in the chat if you guys could hear me all right. Let me know. Okay. Is anybody in Nasty Nas with me? Anybody take Nas? Nasty Nas. Amazing. We could potentially go higher, but I do like where we came into based off the hourly. I also like how we opened and just ran for all of these highs. I'd actually taken shorts out of this area, right at the open, right, and my TP was actually right at 14, 8, 10 on the dot, right, and it pushed literally 10 points below that and flipped. So as you can see, that flip was pretty gnarly. Within like 2 to 3 minutes, we literally had taken not only the high of the day, but we managed to make our way up into this insufficiency here on the 30-minute. Really, I liked it more on the 15-minute, right? That's where I kind of chalked it down, this particular area. I like this particular area in alignment with just that 1 hour open. So overall, right, on like the 15-minute, I believe in the 30-minute, we kind of have like a little counter trend, right, in terms of on the hourly, or not the hourly, yeah, on the 15-minute, like right here, right, to me, we actually didn't get a close below this low. So that's what I believe kind of kept us afloat, and we had a little bit of just divergence with obviously US 30 and then NAS. So I found that with that, even right now, we're pushing higher. So this first initial area more than likely get clapped, but I also like this second area right up in here. Just 30-minute wise, we have that last IPA that we're filling. So to me, potential re-entry. Overall, based off the hourly too, we shouldn't really go higher unless we're gonna break structure on like the hourly time frame as well. So you could potentially have it right at above this wick, be about 30 points, or you can kind of shrink it down a little bit tighter, just so that you don't have such a large stop loss, right? And then from there you can kind of ensure that overall you're just not risking anything that is too crazy. Especially it looks like we're pushing deeper into this area, so I would really just say the 100% of this candle, if we can dig into that, that'd be probably optimal entry point. But ideally we should start to see a reaction out of here if we are right in terms of just obviously the indices. To me, US 30 took the high of the day so far, so just really in terms of just a 30-minute, if we close above this high, then we more than likely continue higher throughout the rest of the day. But one thing to kind of note is that we do have a little bit of this insufficiency up here. So to me, looking at it from just the higher time frame, right, overall I look at this as kind of just that lower high that we're coming back, that we've yet to test since making this new lower low. So overall I could see us potentially digging a little bit higher into there, but overall kind of similar to NAS, like I said, I would just want to see us potentially fall over, right, from where we're at in terms of price action. So overall, even right now, if you got tapped on that first entry, I got hit out for tiny loss. I literally had my stop right above this wick, so I lost about like 4 or 5 points after I got that initial bounce. I like to kind of trail my stop pretty quick on the indices, especially this time of day, right? There's volatility. We just had news drop at 10 o'clock, so ideally the beginning of this new 4 hour, right, as well. Take a look at the 4 hour. The 4 hour looks like potentially we could really just push up a little bit higher into the same insufficiency. So if you wanted to even potentially wait for just us to close in terms of 15-minute, if we break above this 15-minute high, in my eyes, we more than likely push higher. So obviously if you took, you'd more than likely get tapped here, but I wouldn't really short again just until, to me, we just have something a little bit more clear in terms of structure. Because like I said, overall with 30, if 30 pushes up into here, to me NAS more than likely pushes a little bit higher as well. But it really depends, because we've been having divergence with NAS and 30 a lot the last, I want to say in particular the last couple of days. I've noticed just a lot more divergence than just normal. With that, just even just how today opened with 9:30, prior to us kind of leading into that volatile open, US 30 structure in my eyes was just a little bit more clear towards the downside. So that's why I even like NAS shorts, right, with just us breaking below this low. So in my eyes, once we broke below this low, that's why where NAS was at that particular time, we basically were in here. So yeah, it looks like we're pushing through. So NAS more than likely, like I said, fills that higher IPA, but also 30-minute wise, we might not actually close above this candle. So just one thing to kind of keep an eye out for as well is us filling this insufficiency, potentially not even filling or not closing above that body, right? And if we get that, then in my eyes, like I said, the sells could still potentially be valid. So just us pushing above this liquidity, as well as 30-minute wise, we kind of just have to wait for 30-minute hourly closes now to kind of dictate whether or not overall we're going to be able to get in. So if the 30-minute doesn't close above just ideally this candle, then we could probably look for re-entries. But as for now, if you were shorting, the only thing that I would potentially see is this. For me personally, I was waiting to see just if we could actually get a reaction leading into 10:30. So I took a loss on that first initial push up, but as of right now, I'm kind of just on my hands waiting for this 10:30. To me, I like how we're getting a little bit of a reaction out of here right now. So to me, as long as we can close below in the next 12 minutes, then we can easily find a safe re-entry. To me, 30 didn't close above that particular high that we were playing off of. So in my eyes, you could potentially see us fall over. That's what kind of intrigued me, the fact that 30 didn't close above. So that's what I was talking about, just with the little divergence, right? Nas kind of pushed all the way above this whole structure, right? Where 30, in just relation to where we're kind of playing towards, like 30 would have had to come and fill this box if we were to have sorry, I was just reading the chat. If we were to have pushed up into here, to me, Nas would have pushed a little bit higher than where we pushed. But taking a look at this insufficiency that we have from yesterday in New York session, right? We didn't fill on 30, but on Nas, right, it looks like that's what we just actually filled. So it's just going to be interesting to see, obviously, what ends up taking place, and if we're going to be able to actually see just a push to the downside, right? And if we don't see a push to the downside, then ideally, in terms of where we go, I think more than likely we probably fill deeper into this IPA, and I would say we probably close around there today. Maybe we push a little bit higher. Who knows? If we were to take all of these highs today, it would kind of make sense with just all the news that we had, to just give us that little push up. In my eyes, it would make sense. Goldie, right? For the whole week, we really were anticipating shorts, right? We also had the potential of buys, but obviously, just based off today, the buys were not the overall play. But just kind of taking a look at price action today, I caught some shorts, but I closed so early, partialed out just because I wanted to see us actually come back up a little bit higher. So by the time I got back in, definitely wasn't in just ideal opportunity in terms of price action. But the news definitely gave us a re-entry for sure. So kind of taking a look at what happened with the news. This is even a good news to kind of study, because I feel like a lot of people kind of would have got, like, I can see how a lot of people would have thought that the buyers would have won after the news. But for me, it's just all about playing candle closes, and overall in terms of the 5 minute, right, 15-minute wise, to me, when we have just this big wick on like the 30-minute hourly time frame, and like you see a bunch of wicks, to me, like 9 times out of 10 we're gonna fill all, like we're gonna take out this whole low, and like gold will do that all the time. This is kind of like the bait. And even with XAU GBP, right, if you guys know just really what I pay attention to, I pay attention a lot to XAU GBP, right? And with that, the reason for that is because GBP obviously is stronger than the US dollar. So I find in terms of direction, this gives me more clear of a direction for the markets. So just with having that clear direction, to me, the shorts were just obviously more clear on GBP as opposed to XAU USD. And even to me, silver was a lot cleaner, right? Overall, like I just find gold was a little bit uglier. If you were just looking at DXY and gold, it wouldn't have made sense for shorts. But if you were looking at these two things, kind of like how I was, that's why I really had sells, just really what I was paying attention to. Even today, I was able to actually catch a move prior to this London, and my target was literally 1920. I wanted to if not see the whole logo get taken, I wanted to see at least 80 to 90% of it, which to me 1920 would have been sufficient enough. But obviously we weren't able to get that, so you know, it is what it is. But overall, right, gold was very pretty. Sorry, I just want to take a look at NAS to see kind of how we're reacting. As of right now, it's reacting kind of nice, right? Like I said, as long as we don't close above, we could potentially short this in the next 7 minutes, as long as we don't close above this 30-minute high. If we close above, truthfully, we may just wick higher leading into that 10:30 candle open. But US 30, I don't know why we didn't short 30, to be honest. Kind of aired out with 30. Just had a brain fart, I guess. Because like I said, 30 based off the high of the day, to me, it makes sense. We've just ran the high of the day. I don't think we run it again unless we're going to continue to go higher, which we absolutely can. But to me, 30 shorts are actually clean too. So I feel like one of you probably shorted 30 for sure. But if you didn't, and you were like me, not paying attention to NAS, I just like NAS more. But NAS today was definitely uglier than 30 for sure. So just in terms of overall direction, 30 in my eyes was a little bit cleaner. At least leading after 9:30 open, like 9:30 open, NAS, to me, everything besides the 15-minute was bearish, and then the 15-minute ended up taking us higher. We ran all the liquidity of the last basically 2 days, where US 30 kind of just tested the day's high and then obviously continued lower. So to me, I like US 30 shorts obviously to continue lower. And what are we doing with NAS? Yeah, so NAS, ideally, as long as we kind of close where we're at right now, this is what we would want to see. So you could have taken shorts at the high, but to me, if you really wanted to wait for that confirmation in terms of the market, wait until the 9:30 close is always your safest bet. Because even though we're getting the reaction right now, if we still close above, then to be that initial reaction could have been the bait. But you do want to see a reaction. So the fact that, you know, we have this 5 minute, it looks like it's about to engulf. You could potentially see right at 9:30, we probably poke back up, and then we could potentially go. So I like shorts on NAS. I like shorts on 30. US 30, ideally, I don't see why we wouldn't at least pop back up into here. So if we could dig back into just this 30-minute candle, stop to the high would be about 26 points. To me, easy first target would be to the low. But if we were to really break this down, to me, we could even potentially shrink it to about a 20-point stop, right? But overall, we really shouldn't even come too much higher than, in my eyes, this little gap. So to me, anywhere once we get into the black box would be valid for re-entries at 8:30, as long, or not 8:30, 10:30, as long as we close where we're at. But to me, overall, I would want to see us kind of push back into this area. But overall, our black line will really be like our entry areas, right? So anywhere in there will kind of be where we're looking for a price to come back towards, right? I'll get rid of all of this to make it a little bit more organized. I like it to be organized personally. I don't know about you guys. Right, NAS, another 3 minutes, we will be Gucci to get in. Like I said, based off of 30, just us not taking that high. That's why I like to play NAS, because NAS, in terms of where we're at in the overall range, we're higher, right? In terms of yesterday's New York high, right? For us to be all the way up here, in my eyes, we potentially short, let's say you short off the 100% of that hourly candle, which wouldn't actually be a bad idea, right? If you wanted to obviously wait, it would be the safest bet. But if you were to short off the 100%, let's say you only have like a 10-15 point stop, to that first low would be about a 1 to 11, right? Which would be very doable. Like I said, it's very realistic. You know, we could see price potentially melt from here. I personally like shorts, like I said. You want to wait till 10:30, that's cool. To me, I'm waiting another 3 minutes. But 30 looks very nice too. So ideally we get a pop up for 30. We could potentially see us continue lower as well. But if NAS closes above, then to me, I'd be just eyeing a pop up into here. And in my eyes, I would just be looking to potentially just play 30 at that point. Like, I really wouldn't look to just chase NAS. 30 just looks way cleaner. Like I said, even looking at it right now, it's melting down. Earlier, the same way 30 was really melting too. So I like the idea of that. Gold is melting too, absolutely melting. I don't think anything stops gold until 1860. So to me, I'm not really interested in gold right now. The 4-hour candle opened, we pushed up, and now we're melting. So we're filling in just all of this price action. So to me, right, there's no point in really chasing this. What I could potentially see this as being right here, just this push down, is this 30-minute spring too. I kind of look at this as a little bit of accumulation on gold. So we do have to see, right, what will take place. To me, I would want to see overall on the hourly, that's what we're kind of looking at. So on the 15-minute, right, wherever we kind of get that reaction, to me, this is where I thought we were going to get that upside momentum. But US 30 overall, or not US 30, the dollar, we came into this daily imbalance. So to me, we're kind of in a little bit of a tricky area, because overall there was an hourly insufficiency we had in here that we filled today, which is really what brought us even lower. Right, so this hourly insufficiency we filled on the dollar, which then took us to the daily imbalance, which then since that point we've broken hourly structure, 30-minute structure to the upside. So overall, it looks like dollar is going to continue up. Obviously, with that, gold going to continue down. So for me, I'm really looking potentially for a reaction out of this area. But overall, I would be looking for dollar to come at least back to about like 103, right, 0.20 area. So that's just one thing to pay attention to for dollar. It looks like NAS is closing above that 30-minute candle. Or did we close above? Looking at it now already. Yeah, we closed above. So with no wick on the upside, I still like this. I would just say just definitely take a little bit smaller of a risk. Just because to me, we could definitely push higher into this imbalance. If we do, then you don't want to get clapped. So NAS shorts are valid for sure in my eyes. I like the way the 30 open too, no wick. If we can push deeper into this, that would be amazing. But truthfully, with where we wicked it up into right now with 30, we actually don't have to go too much higher. So if you wanted to short now, I would have stop above this high. It would be about 11 points. And for me, TP wise, we'd be looking to target this low. I'd be looking to break even fairly quick on this just because of where we're entering. In my eyes, I still feel like we could fill this. But like I said, just based off of how that 5-minute open, you just got to kind of understand how the algorithm and just the market kind of needs to fill. Obviously, it would be nice to fill this right away, but we don't really have to, right? There's some insufficiency even to the downside, where if we were to even come back up afterwards, it would make a little bit of sense in that case. So overall, like I said, if you were to take NAS, I would just be playing a super tight stop, a little bit less risk on NAS than 30. I would be more willing to risk on 30 right now than NAS. But with NAS too, I don't know, I just kind of like something about this area. Overall, the hourly too, right? The hourly can still close bearish. And if you understand just getting in above the hourly body of the candle, that's just the best place to be in, because in terms of being able to break even, right, if we get the reaction that we're looking for, you're going to be able to break even and have that confidence of, okay, price is not going to come back to my entry. So like I said, 17-point risk. You can kind of even start to trail that, right, as we get these candle closes. To me, we should see us just start to break down. If we kind of lag around, that's cool. You might see us continue higher. 30. Okay, so 30 to me, this is where I would look to get on like the rest of your position. If you only put on a little bit, or if you just took the small risk, to me, I would still be looking around same small risk. There's a little bit of an insufficiency above, but like I said, overall, if we come higher, I'd be looking to just play off of that 30-minute area again, which ideally would be about the same risk, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, so anywhere into this blue box, to me, safe stop loss would really be the high of the day that we just kind of created. But overall, to me, getting in right now is a potential as well. You know, I'm going to get in personally. I'm in 30 just because, like I said, to me, it just makes a lot of sense based off of what we looked at and just based off of how the candle opened as well, right? Candle opens and closes is one thing that we really just got to pay attention to when it comes down to just the overall market condition. And, you know, genuinely, I feel like this is something that we can just learn a lot from, right? One of these, just these reactions, ideally, and just seeing how fast the market should move when you're right, just gives you confidence to be able to enter trades in these areas at a confident rate, right? Gold is melting. Is anybody in gold shorts? Did anybody catch gold shorts? By chance, out of curiosity. 30 right now, 3-minute wise, 5-minute wise is really what we liked. That insufficiency is what we were playing. So 5-minute wise, we're getting a nice fill right now. Like I said, that's kind of how I like to split up my areas. I don't like to take crazy stop losses. I'll take like a 20 point maybe at the most, but I would have to be looking at some juicy. I'd have to be looking at like a 1 to 20 if I'm risking 20. Right, at least first target, like realistic first target. And what I mean by like a realistic first target is just overall, to me, this is a very realistic first target because why? This is the low of the day. Why as well? We also have a lot of liquidity just resting in this area. So to me, it just makes a lot of sense based off of fundamental analysis to be a take profit target. So that's why for me, it's just about finding risk to rewards within target areas that make a lot of sense, or just make fundamentally the most sense, so that you avoid putting yourself in a scenario where you just lose, right, unnecessarily, because there's nothing worse than losing a trade because you just were an asshole, right? And I feel like a lot of times people lose trades because they're assholes. I know I lose a lot of trades because I'm an asshole sometimes. It's just, sometimes we're wrong, and then sometimes you're emotional. It's just being able to identify, like, okay, sometimes you're wrong, right? But then other times it's like maybe you could have avoided doing particular things. So drop a 30 if you guys are in 30. 30 I like right now. Ideally, up a little 1 to 2. S&P shorts. Yeah, I do like S&P shorts too out of this IPA. So I'm in there with you, Antoine. I definitely like that. S&P would be looking at the same target, these lows. So I would definitely say that too. I like S&P shorts for sure. Now that we push into this. Nasty Nas, like I told you. Boom. So 3 minute, that engulfing candle to downside. Lovely. Right. Ideally, this 5 minutes should just continue to trickle down. Like I said, Nas is just uglier out of the two today for sure. We've established that. So to me, if you're in, you're up a couple points. Ideally, 30 is getting a nicer bounce right now for sure. If you got into that, you're up about 20 points, give or take, right? 1 to 2. So to me, you can break even on 30 once we close below here. To me, once we close below here, we might get a pop back up into this area on the 3 minute. But based off the 5 minute, to me, I wouldn't want to see us really pop too much higher than here. We maybe come back into this 5 minute candle and then continue lower. But overall, like I said, based off of our first initial entry area, we're getting a clean bounce, right? So us being up about 20 points right now, obviously this first target is about a 1 to 11 at this low of the day. But overall, where I would be looking in terms of target, let me just make this a little bit bigger. I'd be looking a little bit lower, right? To me, we do have some insufficiency on the 4 hour, as well as just a lot of liquidity. To me, this is all liquidity over here, as well as liquidity right here. So we kind of built liquidity on liquidity. So that's why the shorts to me on the indices just made a lot of sense. Plus, okay, yeah, so the insufficiency in this 4 hour candle is really where I wanted to see price kind of work its way down to. So from current, like our current entry point, it would be about a 1 to 30, right? Give or take to that area, or 1 to 29 if you want it to be technical. So I definitely would say take maybe 50% of your position out at the low, right? If we're able to break below this low. To me, the only thing that might really stop us is 5 minute, this insufficiency, us filling this and then continuing higher. But overall, you should be able to break even. So shit, drop an 888 in the chat, family, if you guys like what you guys are seeing right now on your screen, right? When it comes down to US 30, right? Did you guys say dirty 30? Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Right, so you could break even on 30, ideally. Like I said, it's just, this is textbook, right? This is the epitome of what we look for. Like I said, it's accuracy, right? Instead of having a big 30, 40 point stop loss, right? 20 point stop loss, we were able to shrink it down to 11 points. You're up a 1 to 5 right now. Right, we're approaching that first area where we could get a potential reaction, but overall, like I said, based off the 15 minute and the 30 minute, structure wise, we should really just see a continuation. Like I just, 15 minute, I guess technically we broke structure to the upside, so realistically this could be that reversal point, right? So if you wanted to take partials right now, would actually be a good time, just because of that potential reversal. What you could do is potentially even hedge, right? To me, you would have a little bit larger of a risk. I would definitely look to get in at that full fill if we could. And then to me, obviously, we would be going higher at that point, because the 15 minute did break to the upside. But overall, I do like the higher time frame towards the downside, just because we took that high of the day, right? And just based off this reaction right now, it just definitely looks clean towards the downside with all of the liquidity that we left. So you could definitely, now that we're filling this IPA, you could take a little bit of partials, and like I said, you could even potentially hedge, right? The thing with hedging is now you don't have to close your sell, right? Because you had a good entry. Ideally, it shouldn't really come back to there if we are going to continue to go higher or lower, sorry. But now, if we do end up reversing, right, you're able to have yourself flipped on the hedge. I personally don't like the buys, but to me, it's just like 15 minute wise, I just don't want to be ignorant to the fact of what the market is just literally has in front of our face. So to me, even playing off of this candle would be a little bit tinier of a risk, right? I would just have stop right below that low. But overall, to me, I do like the shorts. So I really wouldn't go too crazy on longs. I don't really see us popping up right at 9:30 to then come all the way back down to then pop back up and go higher, especially with us not breaking above just any of that structure. 1 hour wise too, it just looks like a very clean fill. We probably engulf at the beginning of the next hourly. We probably see us push higher. Yeah, I don't like bias. I would just scratch all of that, because looking at even how we're not really stopping, to me, once we close below all of these lows, then we probably see a little bit of reaction. But Nasty Nas, is anybody in Nasty Nas? Nasty Nas is running like a track star now. Right, you should be up about 60 points on Nas, right? Is anyone in Nas and 30? Drop a nasty 30. Love it, love it, love it. So you could break even on Nas as well, right? If you risk about like 14 points, give or take, right? Like I said, we're up about like 50. To me, I still like the lows overall. So same with 30, right? Is going to be the same as Nas. I'm really just looking for this overall low to get taken. And yeah, the first place I would kind of look to break even. Like, I would say you could break even now, but I would say you could partial out once we get to this IPA. If not, to me, I think that the lows are just going to be very, like, I don't really see us not taking them. But 30 right now is approaching take profit 1. So if you had your first initial take profit set below this low, right, we're approaching that 1 to 10 right now. So definitely would be a good time to pay yourself if you haven't already. Right, and I would definitely let the rest of your position ride. To me, overall, I think this looks good overall to continue to the downside. The thing about 30 is, though, we could come all the way back up now to fill some of this. Ideally, 15-minute is about to close, so I like where we're closing. Automatically, what pops into my IPAs, this where I could see IPA filling is in here. To me, this looks like a very clean fill. So that's why, to me, if you got in at this very top entry, you should break even, just because of the simplistic fact that we could come back to this. Like, we shouldn't come back all the way up here in my eyes. We could wick into there, but to me, I'd rather just break even on that and just get back in based off price action. And you could even look to get in potentially here as well. So it's going to be definitely interesting to see what ends up taking place in terms of just the market, because like I said, overall, it's definitely just good to be able to, like I said, just pay ourselves and be able to have the market, like I said, just be able to continue in the direction that we want it to, right? There's nothing better than catching a trade, having no drawdown, and being able to just position yourself, like I said, in a position that has optimal risk to reward. Because overall now, right, let's say you miss Nas, it's like 5-minute now broke structure to downside. That last candle closed. So what we could expect to see on Nas is either a fill here, or truthfully, I would just play this whole area. Right, so to me, Nas could very well come up into all of this whole top area to fill this, right? I'm not saying not necessarily right now, but I'm saying ideally, if it's 10:45 right now, I would look to want to see that happen at like 11 o'clock, right? So just being able to identify our targets and also have the optimal risk to reward, that's just you know, crucial, right? If you're in at the top, then you have nothing to worry about. You could be break even right now, you're chilling. But if you're looking for re-entries, ideally that's what I would be looking for. I'd be looking for us to come back up, potentially fill some of that insufficiency, and then obviously go higher, right? US 30 looks like we're really just going to continue to go lower as well. This fill will probably happen at the beginning of the next hourly as well. I don't know if I could see that happening right now and it making sense. But overall, like, do you guys see how easy it is to just catch these moves? Right? When we're sitting there and we're looking. Boom, boom. Did anybody make any money today? Did anybody secure some profits? Anybody out of the market? Are all of you guys holding? Anybody there in the chat? Close 30, holding NAS. Anybody else? Nobody paid themselves? Holding gold cell. Okay, you're the best. You're the best, you're the best, you're the best. I would be holding gold cell too. That would be a good cell to hold. Holding S&P. You guys are just the best, huh? Twan, where did you get into there? I know you have a dirty entry, huh? I want to see Nas fill. Right? Because I want to show you guys how this... Like, Nas literally will never leave you. That's why I like Nas. But more than 30, even though Nas is so ugly sometimes, is because Nas is like gold. It's like... Just when you think like your entry is safe, it's like, haha, stupid. Break even. So to me, just knowing that it does that, I'm always ready for that re-entry, because if I always get hit break even when I'm literally entering at the top, it's not like I'm getting in the middle like of the trades. Like for me, for the most part, I'm getting in at the top of ranges, or it's like even if I'm not getting at the tippy top, it's like I'm not holding more than like 10 to 15 minutes worth of drawdown, right? And to me, if I am, then I'm more than likely wrong, right? Unless it's maybe potentially like an hourly 4-hour point of interest. But if it's a 15-minute point of interest and I'm not in profit within the first 15 minutes, within the first 20 minutes, to me, I'm probably wrong, right? The likelihood of us lagging and not getting that continuation is a slim to none in my eyes. Right, now we can see a little bit of a reaction towards the upside on Bolt, right? And notice how we're getting that right at the ending of the hour, right? So it's beautiful. This smaller time frame insufficiency also aligns with a 15-minute insufficiency. So that's where I would say probably the best bet is for looking to get in. Like I said, being safe is above here. We could potentially come back and tap these candles, but to me, I think this insufficiency on the 15-minute would be good enough. I really don't think we need to come all the way higher. If we do, like I said, we could potentially just continue up overall. But on the 30-minute, as long as we engulf right, get this close below this previous buy candle, to me, I couldn't really see us continuing up. But just looking at this 30-minute candle, right, to me, pushing back into the body of this candle would make sense, right? The open aligns with the very beginning of our insufficiencies, but the top of that 15-minute insufficiency aligns with that 30-minute, basically just under the 50%. To me, the hourly as well, I would want to see it close fairly bearish. And just based with how long this wick is on the hourly, like I said, we could potentially fill a little bit of it. But overall, smaller time frame wise, like I said, price has been relatively healthy. So to me, like I said, if you're in from the top, right, lovely. But if you're looking for potential re-entries, I would look to potentially wait for this fill, right, and just have about a 10-15 point stop. I would look to partial for sure at the lows, but like I said, overall, we're looking to see this lower target, which even from the re-entry would be about a 1 to 16. So that's why I say re-entries, ideally, you just want to make things make sense from a risk-reward standpoint. You don't want to mess up your risk-reward. I see so many traders mess up their risk-reward by not taking the same risk every trade. It's like, once you change up the risk, it's like, that's when you're going to mess it up. Like, drop a 1 in the chat if you ever sat there and you were, like, on a win streak, but then, like, you, like, changed your lot sizes and you upped your leverage, and then now you started clapping yourself. Because to me, that's what happens to so many people when they're dealing with just, like, their own accounts, not even really funded. To me, it's just something that's annoying more than anything, right? Looking at us, looking at how we just barely, right, missed this insufficiency. That's ideally what we want to see, right? We want to see, like, I didn't want to see us close too bullish. So to see us close kind of bearish, to kind of minimize that insufficiency, it definitely makes a lot of sense. But, you know, if that happens to you on a trading aspect, what you have to just start doing is let your lot size increase organically based off the fact that your new risk reward or your new risk management based off your account balance allows you to risk and use the lot size you want. Like, don't go from a mini lot like a 0.1, a 0.1 to a 0.2 just because you win 2 trades in a row. It's like, go to a 0.2 because in your trading plan it says, okay, you can use a 0.2 based off of how big your stop loss is. It's like, that's where fundamentally it makes a lot more sense, right? Because even today, it's like, I had trades, and it's like, I had a TP set, I had a stop loss set. If I just broke even and left my trades, it's like, I would have had my 1 to 20, right? Taking the low, right? My second TP would have just hit. My first TP would have been 19.20, right? But instead, I caught a little bit of the move, right? Tried to play buys just because DXY was bipolar. Looked like it was just going to drop. But I wasn't even at my computer. I didn't realize that the daily imbalance filled on DXY. And we ended up reversing out of there. So from that point, the shorts just became even more clear. Right? And just even looking at how we kind of staircase down, that news we pop back up. It's like for my initial entry right up here, it's like, even with that wick up at news, price still wouldn't have hit me up, right? So I even closed my trades too early too today. It's like, still have a little bit rat in, but it's just like, looking at gold even right now, damn, we came back up. We feel kind of nice on the 30-minute. I just don't like chasing days like this, because to me, it's like, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, we feel that fucking crazy. That was nice. Like, 5-minute wise, we don't have to come higher than where we did, so it makes sense why we kind of just tapped here and went, right? Because we didn't even really have any insufficiencies on the 5-minute. Everything is relatively filled there, so we could potentially see gold just really continued lower. I wouldn't even say that there's valid re-entry points. To me, that would have been kind of it right there. To me, I would have personally taken a little bit higher. That's just me, right? But looking at the 30 minute still, I would have taken a little bit higher. I just like body touches. So the fact that we didn't touch that body, to me, I wouldn't have taken it, but it definitely gave a re-entry, right, to continue lower. So maybe we get a pop-up at the beginning of the next hour, right, next 3 minutes. But is there anything that you guys want me to look over? Any Forex, crypto? And be sure to drop a like if you guys are on stream, right? The likes definitely help a lot in terms of algorithm. Watching for AU daily. For gold, we could pop back into this 30-minute candle at 1920.50, I would say, up until 1922. But it's like, I don't think there's anything really stopping us, like I said, until like 1876. So I really think we're going to continue lower. What's going on, Kevin? Take a look at Ethereum real quick before the beginning of this new hour. ETH, I was looking for shorts too, low key. 15-minute broke structure. I just forgot to set alerts. 15-minute broke structure here. This is what I was looking to just see, a break of structure to the downside. To me, ETH, just based off of how gold's melting, like ETH and to me BTC are more than likely just gonna fall too. I believe on the daily too. Ethereum ran some liquidity, right? So we actually took a lot of liquidity. And it actually looks like we came into our daily. Nah, we missed it. I think that was our 4-hour point of interest. Yeah, so that 4-hour IPA. So it just missed the 4-hour IPA, but it took all the highs. To me, we feel this insufficiency on the 4 hours. So Ethereum, in my eyes, we probably continue lower. How low? I would say till at least 1720 area, at the very least. But overall, I kind of like this lower area a little bit better at 1673, just because there is some liquidity resting here. But to me, overall, we could even see it come lower into this daily point of interest. I believe that's a daily point of interest. Yeah, so this daily IPA, to me, we could break down into, so that would be about 15 to 1400 range. And even BTC didn't break above this daily high. We did break structure to the downside. We actually now came back up, tapped that. So to me, BTC, crypto is bearish now. Like I've been telling you, just with all of the news and all of the bull going on TikTok and just all of these social media platforms telling you to buy crypto. It's like, to me, when the social media starts telling you to buy crypto, all the social media gurus, it's time to get out, right? When they tell you to start buying NFTs, it's time to sell the NFTs. Like, you want to observe the masses, do the opposite. Nasty Nas is coming back into this insufficiency, right? Within the first minute, there's no wick on the downside. There's no wick on the downside of Nas. I guess we just made one. Or this is the 3 minute, right? So overall, right, I want to see us come higher, like as deep into this IPA as possible. Like to me, I'd want to see us fill 100%, stop above the high, same type of TP, but we don't have to fill all of that. That would just be a perfect world, perfect scenario. Right, we really don't have to. US 30, same type of deal, right? In a picture perfect world, we're gonna tap this 15-minute IPA, 30-minute IPA, and then we're gonna fall. But if we don't, then more than likely we just continue to dump from here, right? We've wicked up enough. The thing about just these candle opens is as soon as we get that punch up, it's now a matter of, okay, are we going to push higher into the area, our point of interest, or are we going to get a reaction out of just another point of interest, right? So it just really all comes down to that, whether or not we get that reaction that we're looking for, or if we just end up coming to an area maybe a little bit higher, right? So to me, overall, I'm still looking to see how we react out of this 5-minute. Like, best fill would be this up here. We have this little IPA fill. But to me, overall, like I said, I would be looking high as possible. This 3-minute all the way up here. So it's like I don't even really like getting into the lower. Like if we don't fill at least 50% of the IPA on gold, I don't like getting in. So to me, I kind of have that same mentality with NAS and kind of anything I trade, just because I rather have that 100% IPA fill, because if we don't fill 100%, to me in the back of my head, it's like I'm always thinking that, okay, that's going to be a potential target for us later on in the future. And to me, it's like I just don't want to have that in the back of my mind, like having to worry about, okay, am I going to have to break even? So where it's coming into right now, I would say NAS, if you missed, you might be able to get into potential re-entries right now. To me, if you already took some partials, right, this is why I say take partials right at like the ending of an hourly, because you kind of almost have to expect at the beginning of a new hourly, we're going to come back and we're going to test those areas, especially when on the 5-minute we break structure, right? On the 5-minute, if we break structure, to me, you always have to kind of expect us to come back up to that previous lower high or higher low, just whatever time frame we're looking at price on, of course. And then from there, it's just being able to confidently get those positions in, right? So overall, NAS, like I said, is in a decent place right now, right? Low risk, right? To me, you got it in here, about 12 points, give or take, right? And overall to that first target, 158 points, about a 1 to 13, right? US 30 is still working its way up into this area. If 30 pushes up into here, NAS might push a little bit higher, to be honest, than even here. So what we'll probably end up doing is coming just all the way back up to that 30-minute, 15-minute candle. We might fill all of the candle, right? Which would make sense. It would be very NAS-like to get that reaction all the way up. So to me, I wouldn't necessarily invalidate unless we break above. Even if we broke above on the 5-minute, just with how the hourly opened, I would still think that we could just flip down. It just, to me, I couldn't see us really engulfing, especially just at the beginning of an hourly candle like that. It just wouldn't make sense for us to kind of just run and not get some type of bounce off of at least like the last. This is like the last point that we could really bounce off of this 15-minute candle. So to me, if you got tapped out, I would say you could get back in. Same type of stop loss, about another 10 points, right? That first initial pop that we caught was literally 77 points, give or take. So like I said, if you just took one loss, you don't necessarily have to keep taking re-entries, but at the same time, it's like, you know, do what you want. I'm just explaining for the people that maybe potentially missed. Looks like we're gonna push a little bit higher on NAS. Right, US 30. US 30, like we established, has just been the cleanest out of the two. I think even out of S&P too. Yeah, S&P's been kind of on the same type of time. I like that there's no wick on the bottom of S&P. So S&P come fill this IPA. This is beautiful. I still like shorts. To me, like I said, NAS just likes to fuck around and find out. So NAS is pushing back up. To me, like I said, just playing this 5 minute. As long as we don't close above, you should be good. To me, playing entries right now, even if you got tapped, I would get back in if you got tapped, right? To me, like I said, 100% sweeps. Like, NAS normally did, like, what it just did is normal, right? To come all the way back up. I just remember telling you guys that that's one of the reasons why I like NAS, is because it's like gold in that sense. So to me, I'm just used to having that happen on gold and being just sitting there like, wow, like I could have sat there, took this position. Once we made the lower low, took a re-entry back in virtually the same spot. Like 3 minute wise, we didn't actually break above, which is nice. Right, 5 minute wise is going to be our next close, which in 2 minutes we'll know whether or not we close above that or not. But overall, even with US 30, looking at where US 30 popped into, right, to me that's valid, right? It's like you could enter just anywhere off of that insufficiency. Of course, what do we want to wait for? We want to wait for the higher insufficiency, but at the same time, we don't have to, right? We don't have to react and we don't have to move out of there. But at the same time, it's like following just what we anticipate for the overall direction of the day, it would make sense, right? We're anticipating shorts, obviously. Price on the 15 minute and the 30 minute. 30 minute in particular, right? Notice where we're coming back into. We tap 30 minute open, right? Or just barely missed it. But like I said, that insufficiency is sufficient enough, right? For us to just kind of fall and get that reaction out of there if that's the case, right? So it really just comes down to what structure is going to play, right? And overall, I say in the first 15 minutes, just how the candles open on US 30 and NAS, and S&P too, I just really couldn't see us not, at least on S&P's case, correcting this candle. But to me, it's just like taking the lows just seems so obvious. Like, I don't think we're gonna just flip and not take the lows. It just wouldn't make sense. So NAS, like I said, if you waited for that 5 minute structure, it looks like 9 seconds to go. We're currently below, but gold, you don't want to say anything until that shot clock at 0, right? But we did close below, right? So one more pop up makes sense. Like I said, nasty NAS. It's called nasty NAS for a reason, right? But 30, right? Like I said, out of that area, I personally took a small position, just because to me, I like that. I just like the 30 minute fill. Overall, it just made a lot of sense. 3 minute wise, look like we're getting a nice little reaction, right? As long as it's 3 minute engulfs, we probably won't come too much higher. But 1 minute wise, right, it looks like we broke below this previous low. Instant wick up, right? We could see potentially us fill this and then continue lower, if we don't just continue lower from here, right? NAS 5 minute wise, like I said, closed below. So if you wanted to re-enter, like I said, getting in at this highest point was optimally just like your lowest risk, highest reward scenario. 10 points potentially, right? And looking at that first target, right? 172 points, right? So not too bad, not too shabby. So yeah, did anybody drop a re-entry if you took a re-entry? Did anybody take a re-entry on either or? Nice. Liddy. Hey. Fire. Re-entry, fire. You know, so that's the importance of paying yourself, because like I said, you could potentially catch these moves twice. And even if you don't catch it twice, as long as you pay yourself that first time, then you just basically, you're playing with profits at that point. Right? So, to me, Nas looks lovely. There's still no wick on the bottom, so to me, that's lovely. 30, like I said, 30's just been so clean today. Holy fuck. I'm not even gonna hold you. US 30 has been very clean. Right, so that's the one thing that we said today, right? Yeah. S&P too. Right, the 15-minute, that's what we were really looking at. And you can see since that point, we really just filled that IPA and we've gone. Alright, so it's definitely good to see. Right? Because, like I said, in my eyes, just having these overall, these entries, and then as well as just having these overall, just target areas is just crucial, right? To being able to have longevity when it comes to your trades, right? You just want to be able to make sure that you're doing things that are not going to be detrimental to your trading, like for real. Sorry, family, I'm just looking at Dirty 30. Yeah, 30 looks lovely. I'm not gonna hold you. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my stop losses right now, family. But really, in terms of that, like, you can just see that price will never really leave you, right? It'll always give you a little bit of a re-entry, right? Like I said, Nas, definitely not the cleanest. 30 was nice. S&P and Nas were kind of ugly. I don't know how you trade this shit, Antoine. To me, this, yeah, be wildin' sometimes. But it's like off like the hourly, like, you know, if you catch these little 7 point, you know, for like 28, 1 to 4. To me, even with the R&R, bro, I don't know, bro. Like, trade Nas, bro. Trade 30. Stop trading that shit. Stop fucking trading S&P, bro. I don't know, man. Trade Jur 30 or something, bro. I know you be getting in there like 2 point, yeah. Bro, you can do that. Look at what we're doing. We're getting with 10. 10 for 100? You're telling me a 1 to 17? I guess, you know. I guess it makes sense. Don't listen to me, bro. I just... The volatile got me. Right. So 11:15, first 15-minute candle. This hourly. To me, we're just creating more liquidity. We could tap off this area, or we could actually come deeper and fill a little bit higher for 30. So definitely, if you missed the initial re-entry, to be, this top area is definitely still valid. Nas popping back up at the beginning of this 15-minute candle, like I said, nasty Nas. So, like I said, this top area would be really the only thing that saves us. for Nas, but based off of 30, to me, I still like shorts. We're just creating more liquidity to me for us to take. So, yeah, you guys should have taken your first partials on 30 and Nas. 30 hit a 1 to 10, right? Nas hit a 1 to maybe like 4 or 5 before basically coming back to around break even area. Yeah, keep you on it. I need to get off this. Alright, family. I love and appreciate you guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. I'm going to go ahead and see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to stream tomorrow to make up for yesterday's missed stream. And then we'll go from there. In terms of everything, like I said, we could potentially come back to these higher areas to fill. To me, just keep your eye out onto them and go from there, family. But if not, just pay yourselves and just walk away. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, family. Peace.